Hey, guys and gals, now we're here from Drakewing Gaming, blah blah blah. Let me see if it's actually recording. Yes, it in fact is recording. Alright, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? We are doing Theo's Path. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Okay. Mr. Robinson, are you still there? Yes, of course I am. I'm waiting for you to get to the point. What a bitch. Barely a dozen words into a conversation with this guy, and I can already see why Theo is so angry. It's his tone, I realize, more than what he says. He gives me nothing to work with, besides the very pointed impression that I am wasting his time. Fine, I'll get to the point then. We're asking you as friends and neighbors if you could let her stay at your house for a few days, at least until the storm clears up and the power comes back on. I just don't see why that's necessary. Is this guy a fucking idiot or just a giant asshole? I look up at Theo, incredulous. He shakes his head, massaging his temples and clearly holding back grim laughter. I've warned you about him, he mouths to me. As I said before, we're worried she won't survive the storm. She's lived in that apartment for decades and never had any problems. Yes, but she's never been 87 years old before. Have you ever even met Diana? No, I haven't, but I don't see how... She's the most stubborn woman I have ever seen in my long life. Hell will freeze over before she does. I guarantee you she doesn't want your help. Whether she wants it is beside the question, Tom. Theo speaks up, graciously taking the baton from me. I stifle a sigh of relief. I spoke with her earlier today. She's lost even more weight since I saw her in October, and she was shivering and swaying like a reed. The most recent weather update said the storm would let up by the end of the week, but every forecast so far has been wrong. Most of the city is still on total lockdown. There's been no word from the mayor about snowplows, let alone electrical repair. We've most likely got 4 or 5 more days completely snowed in, and it could be another week before people get their power back. Quite honestly, Tom, I don't think she'll last another 2 days. That's your medical diagnosis, huh? Tom, if you'd like to come and see her yourself, I'd be happy to escort you across the street for a visit. Theo bites right back, a keen edge now plain on his voice. It's not a long walk, after all. There's no need for that sort of tone, Theodore, especially not when asking someone a big favor. Theo was right. Tom jumped on the first hint of anger with a truly obnoxious glee. Clearly had been waiting for it the whole conversation. The fox opens his mouth to retort, teeth bare, but I jump in and cut him off, holding up a paw. Mr. Robinson, how can we work this out? A long pause. What do you mean? He sounds almost disappointed. You were correct in that we are asking you for a big favor. After all, it's no small gesture to house a neighbor in their time of need. I know it's a lot of work and a lot of stress. Not everyone has the time, space, and patience to welcome strangers into their home. I nod pointedly at Theo. So, how can we help you with this? After all, there's no reason why you should have to do it alone. His eyes widen slightly, and he gives me a small smile. What needs doing before you can take her in? If you're worried about her health while she's with you, we've got a medical professional on hand. If you're concerned about food, we've got plenty and a skilled cook to put it all together. We've got strong paws for shoveling, clearing space, transferring her over. We're trying to save her life, after all. We're more than willing to put in the work for it. So, what needs doing? The words flowed so freely, I'd even surprised myself. This is far and away the most eloquent I've ever been all over the phone, though the bar has been set pretty low. Theo looks impressed, too. I try not to think about how giddy that makes me feel. I still don't think she'll agree to this. Let us worry about that. All you two have to do is make her space for her when she arrives. You two. I realize now that we hadn't heard from Mrs. Robinson at all. Was she sitting quietly in the background listening to our conversation, keeping her thoughts entirely to herself? Well, I suppose. I jump on that hesitant acceptance immediately. Great. Thank you very much for your kindness, Mr. Robinson. We'll start getting ready to head over right now. Right now? Yes, right now. We want to get her out of there as soon as possible. We'll be there within the hour, so please be ready for us. Now hold on a minute, This time it's my turn to let him flounder in silence. And God, does it feel good. My wife hasn't had time to tidy up, so... His last pathetic excuse peters out before I can even respond. We hear a rough, sick crackle through the phone. All right. Within the hour. Excellent. Looking forward to meeting you in person very soon. Goodbye. I firmly hang up the phone, and it's just the two of us alone again. How'd I do? I think you did phenomenal. His praise immediately makes me smile, and I cover my mouth with a paw to hide it. Certainly better than I did. If it was just me talking to him, he would have hung up the moment I called him a shit-eating, holier-than-thou fuckface. I'd be even worse off than we are now. God, you weren't kidding. He really is the fucking worst. Always has been. We have not so quietly hated each other for as long as I can remember. He and Diana hate each other too. Tom doesn't see eye to eye with anyone, not unless they're willing to put him on a pedestal. And then they're looking up at him from the ground. Exactly. What about his wife? I noticed she didn't say much. Theo's eyes dropped to his lap. No, she never does. It's difficult to get a read on her at the best of times, especially when Tom's around. He tends to eat up all the air in the room. Maybe we can talk to her directly once we get there. I'm sure she'll be easier to work with than him. Hard to say. In that house, what Tom says goes. She cedes ground to him on every issue, no matter how small. In that way, she reminds me of my mother. Oh. Try as I might, I can't think of any other response. Well... Theo stands, his chair breaking the silence. We can talk shit about him later. Right now we've got work to do. If you'll give me a hand with waking the others... I only now realize that I just volunteered everyone else to help without their knowledge. Oops. In fact, I had volunteered the crew to do pretty much everything. Tom would barely have to lift a finger. Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be happy to help. Theo reassures me, as if reading my expression. I'll take the blame if you like. You can say it was me who volunteered everyone. I stand as well, laughing softly. They'll never believe me. We know there's no way that you'd ask for help like this on your own. His ears droop. I realize too late that I spoke too quickly and too flippantly. That was uncalled for. I'm sorry. No, unfortunately you were quite correct. Just hurts a bit to hear, that's all. Seeing the look on my face, he elaborates, waving a paw. It's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. No harm done. We've got more important things to worry about right now anyway. With only the slightest hint of a bit of difficulty, we get everybody out of bed and downstairs in just a few minutes. The mood is muted due to the early hour, but tightly focused. All of us are clearly ready to do what needs to be done. Okay, everyone have your phones? We all nod. Okay, I'm guessing we'll need shovels once we get there. I'll have two sitting outside. They're plastic, but the metal ones are all in the garage, and we don't have time to dig them out. I have a metal one at my place. So do I. Great, you two go fetch those. Stick together. You never know what could happen in weather like this. Meet us at 27 as soon as you can. Got it. Sure. Theo nods once again and opens the door, ushering us into the bitterly blasting wind. It feels colder than ever before. As I take the door from Theo to let everybody out, I see Ollie shiver and pull his coat tighter around himself. Hunter gives me a smile and a nod, taking the door in turn from me. We file out onto what we think is the covered sidewalk. Artemis and Hunter head immediately for their houses, and Theo and I grab the shovels laying right next to the porch. The sheer volume of snow is almost unbelievable. Theo and Hunter's shoveling work from the previous days basically unnoticeable. When I beheld it all 3 days ago, I felt wonder. Now I feel only fear and apprehension. I find myself looking to Theo for reassurance, and each time he gives it to me in the form of his soft, gentle smile. The fierce wind whips the snow into even piles. Paths close to walls are the worst, with miniature hills heaped halfway up the sides of the houses. Cars unfortunate enough to be left on the street are almost completely hidden. Vague shapes in the expanse of white, punctuated by a side mirror, the reflection off an exposed headlight. Nobody will be driving anywhere for quite a while. We trudge along in single file. Theo at the vanguard, the rest of us following the path he makes. He does his best to pick the shallowest paths, where the snow is only knee-height at most. Finally, we arrive at number 27, the wind tearing at our coats. Theo gestures towards a narrow passage, leading to the backyard of the house. He shouts to make himself head over the tempest. Her apartment is back there. She lives in the back half of the house, and the folks in the front are out of town. So, we can't go through the front? Theo shakes his head. I've already tried. Her door's in the backyard. This is going to be trickier than I thought. Not only do the snow piles constrict the already narrow path, but the uphill entrance to said pathway is mostly blocked by a submerged car. How the fuck are we going to do this? Theo's head and ears start swiveling back and forth, taking in the scene. I can almost hear the gears turning in his brain. He gestures for all of us to huddle up. Okay. She can't walk in this, and she'll never get down the driveway, let alone across the street. I'll have to carry her out, but I don't want to risk that until we've cleared the path a little. Theo's eyes flicked to the house and then to Rofi. Rofi, I think you'd better be the one to check on her. I'll come with you to make sure she opens up, but after that I'm leaving her to you, okay? Okay. Good. I'm counting on you, Rofi. I know. After a long moment of eye contact, Theo turns to me and Ollie. You two start shoveling. We'll need as much of this driveway cleared as possible. If we can get our keys to get the car out of the way, that's even better. Even if we had to put it neutral and push it, every bit of space helps. I nod, glad to receive clear, direct instructions. Tell the other two the plan once they get here. Have them start clearing a path across the street to the Robinsons. Once I get you inside, Rofi, I'll be going across the street as well. I need to make sure Tom has everything ready. Maybe I can even get him off his ass to help shovel, though I doubt it. As soon as you've cleared a good enough path, I'm carrying her out, no matter what she says. Everyone clear on their jobs? Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Then let's get started. Clock's ticking. Ollie and I immediately dig into the driveway as Theo and Rofi vanish around the side of the house. Despite his aversion to cold, Ollie is good with a shovel, clearly an old hand at this. He and I managed to clear most of the bottom half of the driveway when Artemis and Hunter arrive, carrying stout metal shovels on their shoulders. Where we dropping, boys? You did not just say that. Theo needs us to clear the driveway, so maybe we can move the car, and then a decent path across the street to number 30. He's going to carry her out, so... Say no more! Hunter immediately takes to shoveling with enthusiasm, and Artemis quickly follows, cutting efficiently through the snow-choked street. I find my gaze lingering on number 30, trying to catch a glimpse of its inhabitants. The curtains, however, are pulled tight, and only the faint light shining through them suggests there is anyone home. I can't let Theo face them by himself, and if he and Tom start bickering again, it could jeopardize the whole operation. I look over at Hunter, tearing through piles of snow with a jaunty whistle. I think the boys have it covered. Tom will eat Theo alive if I'm not there to help. At that moment, I feel a tug on my sleeve. Alrighty. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon, YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!